I love sweet potatoes all year, but especially in the fall. I am going to make a Southern sweet potato cobbler. It is a cozy and delicious treat. Not only is it good for dessert, but it's good as a side. And you know how us Southerners love our sweet sides. Welcome or welcome back. I know you're going to love this recipe. You'll even probably want to put it on your table during the holidays. And when you do like this recipe, you give us a thumbs up. If you are new, subscribe and hit notifications so that you get all of our recipes as they post. Hang out with me. I'm going to show you how to cut this recipe cook time in half. We're going to make it so easy. Come on, let's get to it. Grab your casserole dish or grab your cast iron. I am doing it in my seasoned cast iron, and I'm going to grease it good with some good old butter. So just give it a good grease, and you're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. We'll set this cast iron aside. Then we're going to start working on the potatoes. Now we got to get working on these sweet potatoes. They'll have to be scrubbed. They'll have to be peeled, and they'll have to be boiled. But we ain't doing all that, okay? Like I said, this is going to be simple and easy. We are using Bruce's. These are delicious sweet potatoes, and the consistency of them is perfect for this Southern sweet potato cobbler. Opening that can was a lot quicker than taking care of these sweet potatoes here. So you will want to save 3/4 cup of the liquid, or at least 3/4 cup that we'll use later in our cobbler. And then the rest of it you can throw out. I have poured all of the liquid off of my sweet potatoes, and I'm just going to add them now to the skillet. Any of the big pieces, you'll want to cut these so that they're bite sized. Just take your potatoes and you just want to cut them so that they're in bite sized pieces. You don't want them super small. The Bruce's sweet potatoes have a perfect consistency for this cobbler. Now, you could, by all means, cook your sweet potatoes from scratch, but this is an easy recipe that you can throw together as a dessert or a side dish for Thanksgiving or Christmas. It is perfect with ham or turkey. This looks pretty uniform in size. We're going to set this off to the side and we're going to work on a sweet syrup. For the syrup, it's going to start off with that 3/4 cup of the reserved liquid from our sweet potatoes. And to that, we are going to add a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. We're going to add the juice of that one orange that I juiced earlier. Now, guys, I did that off camera, but I put it up in the top. If you don't want to juice your own orange, you could by all means use additional sweet potato juice from the can. But we do love this orange. It brings additional freshness to the Southern sweet potato cobbler. We're going to also add the zest of that orange that we juiced. Of course, we've got to add vanilla flavoring. Do we cook anything down south without adding vanilla? Not if it's baked. This calls for a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm just going to eyeball it. Give it a southern dose there. Now we need to add some cinnamon and some nutmeg. This is a quick recipe, guys. We're using 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Give this a good stir and pour it right over those sweet potatoes. Make sure when you're putting your liquid in that you don't go any higher than your potatoes. So you don't want them completely drowning, just in a nice bath. We're almost finished with this Southern sweet potato cobbler. We're going to mix up our dough now that we'll put on top of the cobbler. So it's going to start with a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. Nah, we're not using all-purpose flour. We're using Bisquick. There's no shame in using Bisquick. It's been helping families since 1930. Add that half cup in. To that, we're going to add a half a cup of white sugar. We're going to add a pinch of salt and a half a cup of milk. Guys, we're using 2%. You can use whatever milk you have in your household. 1% would probably be best, but we never have 1% here. And then just stir this up. Now give this a good stir to get all of that incorporated. I left my Bisquick up here because I'm proud of it, okay? I have been cooking with Bisquick. I made my very first cobbler with Bisquick. It was so easy. So I use Bisquick quite a bit. Do you ever use Bisquick in your home? If you do, put me a comment down there and tell me what you use it for. Tell me about the first time that you ever cooked anything with Bisquick. That's stirred up. I'm going to bring the cast iron back over here and we're going to pour this on. Guys, that will all rise up there and make that cobbler crust that we're looking for. It will be so delicious. You do not want to stir this. Just leave it like this, guys. Believe me, it's going to work. I'll show you in a moment. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of cane sugar on top of this. It will just give us a little bit more texture as well as a little bit of glisten whenever it comes out of the oven. This is totally optional. This is going in that oven preheated at 350 degrees for approximately 40 minutes. Guys, I put a piece of foil down under my cobbler just in case it boils over. I don't want to mess my stove up. Our Southern Sweet Potato Cobbler is out of the oven. And guys, I can smell the fall flavors here. The orange just sings, the nutmeg, the cinnamon, those sweet potatoes. Oh my goodness. I'm going to grab a bowl. I'm going to show you how we serve this down south. I have this one in a bowl. You could serve it for dessert with a dollop of the marshmallow whip on it, or serve it a la mode. Yeah, with vanilla ice cream. Or you could just put a scoop of this right next to your turkey on Thanksgiving Day. Any way that you eat it, guys, you're going to love this one. Thank you for hanging out with me. Guys, give us a thumbs up. If you're new here, you subscribe and hit notifications so that you get all of our recipes as they post. And until next time, you guys take care and God bless.